I'd like to talk about home births. I want to revisit that topic again. I noticed that there's been an increase in recent years. I think it was spurred on by the pandemic, mostly. That kind of spurred on increased interest in home births, and I think that it's still less common. I think it's like just around 1 or 2%, between 1 or 2%, but still increasing. And I don't think it's a bad idea, even though I'm a guy. I think that some women want to feel comfortable or want to feel more secure where they are. And, depending on the environment at home, they may have a more sense of peace. It may help their psychological well being and their emotional well being somewhere familiar and comfortable where they feel safe. And that might relax them and the child. I know in some places, depending on your insurance, which is another topic, they get these really fancy hospital rooms. There's a guy playing piano in the main reception area on that floor. I visited some people there. It's just like night and day compared to people who may have uh, cheaper insurance, I want to say, or no insurance. I don't know. Something along those lines. I thought it was interesting though. It depends, I guess, on where you are. But yeah, in some places, some hospitals do have like a overly sterile feeling, and some do feel dark, and that could still rattle your nerves, especially in your situation like that, right? You want to feel somewhere comfortable. And there are some places with really nice, bright rooms with bright energy, right, to make the patient feel at ease. Statistically, most children, they say around 98% who are born at home, come out pretty fine. In some cases, they have to go to the hospital afterwards. Eventually they're gonna have to go to the doctor, I guess, to get checkups and things like that. But they're pretty fine. Same as with the hospital. It's about equal whether someone decides to give birth at home or give birth in the hospital. It's pretty much the same outcome in regards to successful births. I guess the difference would be you can, I guess at home they're going to have the midwife. They have a lot of prep to do, right? I'll probably talk about that in a few minutes. But yeah, if a doctor or midwife's available to assist at home, and in some cases it may be better than the hospital. They have a lot of material to collect, a lot of planning to do, but eventually they do have to go check the child and the mother at a hospital or a doctor, whichever one's available for them. In some cases, people would say this is or falls under a woman's right to choose. And there's also another stat that says if a woman decides to birth her child at home, there's a less chance she's going to have a C-section. If she decides to go to the hospital, it increases chances she's going to have a C-section. I wonder why. It's interesting. I'm not a woman or a doctor, but does it always have to be that way? Do they always? It's like some health professionals. They're always about cutting. There are other ways to heal. I don't know why there's been this thing about cutting, but that's another topic again. I don't want to get off topic, but again, it's up to the woman and what makes her feel comfortable in regards to where she wants to have her child, and also her health and what's best for her and the child in regards to delivering a healthy baby. And some people, ladies, couples may have, depending on who's making the decision, or they make one together, they may have several reasons they want to birth at home. Some of them don't want a lot of medical interventions, like induced labor, heart rate monitoring, pain medication, things like that. Someone want that familiar place. There are people who may not like the hospital that's available to them, right? It depends on where they are and what hospital or doctors are available to them. They may not trust the hospital, or they just may not prefer that hospital. They want more control over that birthing process. And there's also cultural reasons, religious reasons. transportation issues, and it also could be lower cost, right? For them in insurance when you have deliver a child at home versus the hospital stay that you or the insurance has to pay for, because we know healthcare is another expense, and it can be a problem when it comes to expenses. And those things come into play when making a decision, especially a major decision like this. Something also I noticed, kind of related, here they have women lay down all the time, whereas there are some cultures, a lot of other cultures, they have the women stand up and squat. I was wondering, I mean, it makes sense in a way, right? Gravity, standing, squatting, squatting in a pool or over some water. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know why doctors or certain cultures choose how to have children, but to me it does make sense for her to stand and squat as far as gravity is concerned. But I'm not a woman. Whatever she feels comfortable with, right? I do know some doctors, they recommend going to the hospital if the woman's having more than one kid at the same time, like twins, triplets, that type of thing, or the kid is in a certain position that that's not favorable, and or they also say if they've had a C-section in the past. And that's another thing. I guess if they start off having a kid at home, maybe they will start off not needing a C-section. I don't know. These are really a lot of things to consider if you're a couple or a woman having a kid. And then if you do decide to birth at home, issues come up like labor not progressing, or the baby is stressed out, or the baby's in a bad position, or they really might need pain relief, or high blood pressure or fever. Any kind of things can come up. But again, this is when having a midwife, licensed nurse midwife, or even having a doctor on hand helps. But for the most part, and most mothers who do decide to have planned home births, they pretty much deliver with no problem. Problems tend to be reduced when they have the certified nurse midwife on hand, and a doctor like an OBGYN, and a nearby transportation, right, in case they do have to go to the hospital. It is recommended, though, if they do have health conditions, they should probably just go to the hospital anyway, just to avoid any issues that may arise. But as far as planning, they should have the necessary materials, the pool, whatever they have like all kind of equipment and things for the baby, as well as a midwife, a licensed midwife, and as many people as you can helping to support and help deliver the healthy baby, right? As many health professionals on hand available. I think, again, getting insurance involved in this or talking them into it, they might go ahead with it because it's a cheaper option for them. And if the woman feels comfortable in her bedroom or her den or wherever in their home, it may be a better situation all around for everyone. I think as long as they take the right precautions as far as who they want to be with them, what they want their surroundings to be like, their comfort measures, who would they like to rely on during labor, any specific methods, exercises, or do they want to breastfeed immediately, things like that. I guess it's also beneficial they take a childbirthing class to help them prepare and know what to expect, and it gives them time to talk with other mothers, and maybe, who knows, maybe we can have other mothers around, right, who maybe have just delivered or about to deliver. It could help and support, depending on how close they are to that person. The best case is to, again, discuss their birthing plan with the healthcare provider and the nurses and whoever is also giving them the class, so they can be empowered with all the information, what equipment to have, what supplies, what expectations, and to ensure safety of the child. It's also really important, and I mentioned this before, just to have transportation on hand ready, and maybe even talk to the doctor, have their doctor be aware that they're delivering at home. I'm sure some would make the house call, or even just the phone call, however you arrange with your doctor or your medical practitioner. I think I don't know. There's so much. I guess maybe you can't be overly prepared. I don't know. I'd be pretty nervous. To me, it'd be. I mean, just on the inside, probably wouldn't show. Wouldn't want to spook anybody. But I think that it's important to plan if you're going to deliver at home. But I do think that there may be a case where most people may end up delivering at home and going to the hospital. We never know. Just the way things are changing and people's interests and the way they have like medicine at a distance, especially with technology now, with this all the augmented reality, virtual reality. You could be at home and have like the doctor, nurses kind of virtually be there as well, right? The virtual assistants. Physical assistance is best, but maybe you can have both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. But all this is important, and maybe the way technology is going, all the monitors just have devices attached to you wherever, or just your arm or a watch, right? Delivering all the information to the doctor at hand, so he kind of knows what's going on. There's just so many ways. It's the way science and technology is changing fast. There's just so many options now to where maybe you don't have to always go and be in a hospital bed in a sterile place, especially people who live far out places where hospitals are far, and they have to. I don't say have to, but maybe chances are they're going to deliver at home more so than they would be in a hospital room. So this is like a realistic opportunity that this could happen more often. It's not often right now, but it could be a real possibility, in the near future. We don't know. But anyway, let me know your thoughts, and thank you for taking time to listen. And I really appreciate your time. And please, please, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much.